It was a typical night out in London's exclusive Mayfair district. After a day of drinking at the races, John Hartson and Vinny Jones, along with their partners, decided to continue the revelry at a trendy Tramp nightclub. To set the scene, Tramp was known for its exclusivity and discretion. Owned by the successful nightclub entrepreneur Jesse John Gold, the club banned all photography and prevented paparazzi and gossip columnists from entering. Gold cultivated a reputation for discretion, even suing and winning damages when a newspaper described Tramp as a disreputable club attended by tarty little pieces. Despite its strict rules, Gold was lenient with his regulars and rarely banned any. The Who's drummer Keith Moon was famously banned for a month after destroying a chandelier, but had the ban reduced to 48 hours after pleading with Gold. Tramp's leniency and lack of dress code made it a magnet for celebrities, including Tara Palmer Tomkinson, who once attended her 21st birthday party wearing only a bikini and fur coat. Men were not allowed entry unless accompanied by women. Jones recounted that the evening started amicably enough, with him and Hartson enjoying a meal together with their partners. However, the mood quickly soured when a group of drunken yobs outside the restaurant began hurling insults at Jones' wife, Tanya. Fueled by a mix of alcohol and protective instincts, Jones and Hartson confronted the group. What began as a verbal exchange soon descended into a physical confrontation. The two footballers began exchanging blows with the gang, using fists, headbutts and kicks. Despite their outnumbered status, Hartson and Jones managed to fend off the group, who fled the scene. However, Hartson and Jones were left with severe cuts and bruising to their faces. When police arrived, alerted by concerned bystanders, they found Hartson and Jones battered but defiant, both declining medical assistance. The authorities confirmed that no further action would be taken, as neither party made an allegation against anybody. The police version. According to police reports and witness accounts, the story was slightly different. The witnesses claimed that after a day of heavy drinking, Hartson and Jones engaged in a friendly argument over who was the hardest footballer to play for Wales. The argument escalated, leading them to step outside to settle their matters on the cobblestones. In the ensuing chaos, the two footballers, known for their fiery tempers and formidable reputations, turned their frustrations on each other. Witnesses described a brutal and bloody fight, with shirts torn and fists flying. Despite the ferocity of the fight, it was clear they were very good friends. The moment the dust settled, they shook hands, bloody and bruised, and declined to press charges against each other. The aftermath. Jones, who had already transitioned into a movie star with roles in films like Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, was known for his off-field antics as much as his on-field aggression. Hartson, on the other hand, was in the prime of his career, continuing the hardman legacy at Wimbledon. In the aftermath, the two men continued to speak highly of each other, with Jones even serving as godfather to Hartson's daughter. The fight became another storied chapter in the lives of two of football's most notorious hardmen, a testament to their larger-than-life personas both on and off the pitch. Decades after the account, both men have faced significant personal challenges. Jones has battled depression and drink issues following the death of his wife, Tanya, while Hartson fought and survived brain cancer, demonstrating that their toughness extends far beyond the football field. So, Vinny Jones, great memories of Vinny back in the day with the crazy gang, John Fashanu, Eric Young, Wisey. Who was the right winger who played? Because he played a very 4-4-2. Was Warren Barton playing at right back, or was that later on? I know they had Eric Young. They had big Laurie Sanchez for a time up front, I think. Some real tough players. When you played against Wimbledon back then, as most of my subs are sort of my age or older, I think, and they'll remember as well. But if you one of my subs from Australia or America, and you'll probably know Vinny from his acting days, but his football days, crazy. You know, some of the tackles. I remember some of the tackles on Paul Ince, Steve McMahon, some crazy tackles, but he'd always be having it off the pitch as well. He's a real icon for hardman footballers back then. Whether he was the hardest or not is a different matter. but he was definitely the most aggressive on the pitch for my money. And big John Hartson, who was like his little brother, and he was godfather and of his child, and really liked John. And he had a period playing for Wales, Vinny, and yeah, they were. From what I'm told, the truth is they were out getting drinked up, and they'd been at the races. I think it was Ascot, I'm not sure. And they got into this debate on who would beat who in a fight and who's the hardest or whatever. And they went out and had it, and they both just laid into each other. But it got broken up, and it was squashed. I mean, I've been in situations like that in the past. Stupid with my best mate back then, and when we were partying in it was at New Year's Eve actually in Manchester years ago, decades ago, and me, him, and a couple of girls had gone back to this girl's sister's flat, and it's in a posh, swanky like flats, and we was up there and we was having a bit of that, and you know, the top shelf, partying, whatever, and we got into some stupid argument, and it was snowing I think outside, and we ended up getting the lift down to have a straightener outside to settle some dispute. But by the time we got down there and we seen the weather outside, we just shook it off and went back up. And these things that you can't really explain. Anyone who hasn't got that type of mentality when they were younger, you can't really describe it to them. It just does sound pathetic and stupid. But you know, especially when you're drunk and that, these things can happen. And I remember Johnny Hartson for when he kicked Al Berkovich. Remember that in the training pitch? There was a big scandal about that. It was a big lump. But both of them had terrible things to get through. Vinny with the loss of his wife and problems with alcohol and different things. And big John Hartson, that brain cancer. How he got through that, I'll never know. But yeah, I thought I'd do a little bit of a reminiscing session there for my Welsh subs and English subs, British, and anyone who sort of likes this type of stuff. So if you enjoyed it, smash the likes out, hit subscribe. It does help me out if people hit the subscribe. We grow pretty slowly, steady and slowly. Really appreciate each and every one of my subs. But any of you guys who are watching who enjoy the content, just hit the subscribe and you'll be notified. What else? Leave me your comments. Leave me your memories of Hartson and just that era in the 80s and 90s of football and how it was different, etc. And any stories you'd like me to cover. All right, take care.